Okay, getting started, solving systems of equations and elimination, or by elimination. We're going to be working on how to solve these, and elimination is kind of like the buzzword today. If you were going to try to find more videos on YouTube, you would want to search up elimination. The title of this video is going to be about elimination. And here's the thing about elimination, okay? If I just take, let's say I take this sheet of notes, and I'm going to replace this in a second. Don't write this down. Don't follow with me. If I wanted to figure out to solve this using, don't write this down, solve this using graphing, right? That's what we've been doing. We've been solving this using graphing. In order to do that, it would take us some steps, right? So step number one, we would have to solve for y. Now we did that in part A. We haven't done it in part B. We'd have to solve for y. Don't write this down, just stay with me. After we solved for y, we would have to get the m. We would have to get the b. We would have to, plot b. We would have to, m equals rise over run. We'd have to be doing our rise. We'd have to be doing our run. We'd have to be, graphing the line. And once we did all of this work, we'd have to do it all again for the second equation, right? We'd have to, number 7, we'd have to solve for y. Then number 8, we'd have to get m, right? All of this, we're just repeating it over and over again. 9, we'd have to get b. And all of a sudden, this is taking forever. We'd have to plot b. We'd have to do 11, m equals rise over run. And we could do all this stuff. And honestly, we're pretty good at doing all this stuff. But if you start looking at this list, ew, this is a lot of work, okay? And once we did all of this, we would have to look for intersection, because remember, where these two lines touch, that's the answer. And our answer, I've been writing so much here, sorry. Our answer would look like this. Where do these two lines touch? Now, this is ridiculous. Solve, get m, get b, plot b, do the, yikes, okay? Here's what we're going to do instead. I'm not doing all that. I'm going to show you a nice little shortcut here, okay? Nice little shortcut. We're going to take advantage of the way that these are set up, and we're going to take advantage of opposites eliminate, okay? Now, that's a super, super easy concept. What are opposites? An opposite is like 5x and negative 5x. Why are those opposites? Because literally, what's 5 minus 5? 0, right? That is not rocket science. That's some middle school stuff for sure. What do you think is the opposite of negative 10y? 10y. That is not hard. Middle school. And so obviously, in order to make an opposite, we need the same number. That's like a number sign. And we need the opposite sign, right? So if we've got 7x, we do the same number, we still work with the 7, and then we make the opposite sign. You guys are all good at that. To be honest, this is relatively straightforward. So what we're trying to do, if you look at number 1, instead of doing all of this stuff, boom, 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 instead of doing all of that, if you just look at this, and you notice these y's right here. When you look at those y's, do you notice that we have a positive y and a negative y? What we have right here are opposites. Everybody seeing that with me? You guys noticing these opposites? Okay. Because we have these opposites, we're going to do something really old school. We're going to put a plus, and we're going to make an old school equation. This is like straight up out of 2nd grade. We're going to put a plus with a line underneath, right? So this is kind of like if it said 8 plus 4 with the line, right? This is what we're doing. 8 plus 4 makes 12, okay? when we set it up like this, we're just going to add this stuff up. What's 2 plus 3? 5. So we got 5x. And here's the important part, which is not hard. What is positive y minus y? So think about this. It's like a positive 1y, and it's like a negative 1y. What's 1 minus 1? 0. Now, here's what we're going to do. Hold up. We are not going to write 0. We don't need 0. 0 is useless. We're just going to leave it blank. Okay? We're not going to write y. We're going to put equals. And what's 7 plus 8? Anybody know 7 plus 8? 15. Okay, does everybody see what happened with the y's? 1 minus 1 is 0. I don't know that what happened with the y's is that fun. That's a big smile back there for looking at the computer and smiling about 1 plus 1 or 1 minus 1 equals 0. Now, when we're here, 5x equals 15. How are we going to solve for x? Divide by 5. And what's 15 divided by 5? And guess what? We got to skip all of this stuff. Remember that huge list that I wrote? Boom, 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 boom. We skipped all of that, and this is all it took. This is it. You just add them up. Now, I want to be specific here. This only works because our y's are perfect opposites. That's not a very common thing, right? But for this question, a math teacher somewhere made these notes, and they set it up perfect so that what's 1 minus 1? 0. Now, there's one more thing we need to talk about, and then pretty much we've gone through everything there is to go through. This answer is not the full answer that we need, because this answer is just a 3. Okay? What we need is a coordinate, because that's where these two lines should cross. And 3 is part of that answer. Is 3 the first part, or is 3 the second part? 3 is the first part because it is an x number, and of course x comes first. But now, how do we find the y? Right? We can't do the same process because, you know, the x's don't cancel out, right? Because 2 plus 3 makes 5. It doesn't make 0. What we're going to do, relatively simple, already something that we've done before, already something that we've practiced, is we're going to take the 3 and we're going to put it back into the equation. Now, you have two options. You can use the top equation, you can use the bottom equation. You will get the same exact answer, I guarantee you. Okay? So you have to make sure that you know how to plug a number into an equation, which is something that we've already learned in algebra. The way that I like to think about it is we have 2x plus 1y equals 7. Here's my first equation, and I left 2 gaps. All right? I left an x gap, and I left a y gap. Where does this 3 go? Does it go after the 2, or does it go after the 1? So remember, this is an x number, and where am I getting the x from? Right after the 2. So this 3 is going to go into the x, which is right here. I'm going to put parentheses 3. Now this y that comes after the 1, we're just going to leave that y right there. We're not going to touch it. Okay? And I'll tell you right now, these are, I know this is the very first question. These are pretty straightforward notes. These are pretty straightforward questions. The number one, basically the only mistake that students make, they do the first part right, they get the first letter right, they take this 3 and they put it in the wrong spot. If you can put this 3 into the correct spot, you're going to get the question right, okay? Because what we have is Desmos. And we can go to Desmos and we can type this in, where we at? Desmos. And we can type 2 parentheses 3 parentheses plus 1y equals 7. We can search for that little dot, and it says 0, 1. We don't need the 0, we just need the 1. And so we're going to put 1 as our answer right there. Now, that's it. That's basically the whole day. There's nothing else really that's difficult. There's nothing else new coming at you. I just want to be clear. When you turn in these notes, you have to write down the plus with the line and add them up and get the first number. And then you have to write down this type thing right here with the 3 plugged in. You cannot just say the answer. You're not going to get any credit. You have to write this stuff down. The good news is it doesn't take very long. So let's do number 2. Let's see how long it takes. First of all, I'm going to look at my letters. I'm going to look at the X's. I'm going to look at the Y's. Do either of these letters completely cancel out?
No.
I agree. I think that yes. I think that these X's, these are opposites. I've got a positive 2, I got a negative 2. And what is 2 minus 2? 0. 0. That's the whole thing. So I'm going to make a plus, make a little equation here. And when I add these up, what is 2 minus 2? 0. I'm not going to write any X's. I'm going to keep going on. And what about my Y's? What is negative 5 plus 3? If you're not sure, even if it's simple, type it in. Negative 5 plus 3. Let me zoom in so we can see a little better. Negative 2, right? So we've got negative 2y equals, what's 14 minus 10? That one's pretty easy. We can probably do that one in our head. Positive 4. And then how do we finish this question? And how do we finish basically every question? We divide. Divide by negative 2. And again, if you're not sure, right, Desmos is literally your best friend. We're going to do 4 divided by negative 2. We're going to get negative 2. So we got y equals negative 2 done. Except for we're not really done. We got half the answer. We got the hard part. We need our answer to look like a coordinate. Is this y the first piece of the coordinate or the second piece of the coordinate? It needs to be the second piece, so it goes into the second piece. And then we're going to take this y and we're going to plug it in. It doesn't matter if you go into the top. It doesn't matter if you go into the bottom. A lot of students just do the top one every single time. You know, whatever you like, whatever you need. Let me get my face out of the way a little bit. And let's plug this in so we can be done. I've got 2x minus 5y equals 14. My negative 2 here, all I have to do is get it in the right place. Does it go after the 2 where the x was, or does it go after the 5 where the y was? Of course, it goes in the y position. It goes after the 5. You guys are all correct. And I just leave the x after the 2. If you do that, game over, type it in Desmos, and you're done. I'm going to go to Desmos. I'm going to type 2x minus 5 parentheses, negative 2 parentheses equals 14. I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to see it right here, 2, right? Very little, honestly, very little brain going on. I'm just typing stuff in Desmos, and it's just giving me the answer, 2. Okay, we've gone through this. We've gone kind of slow. I'm about to hit number 3. We're going to do it quickly. Number 3, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to set it up as a plus, and I'm going to hope that either my x's or my y's are going to cancel out. When I look at my x's, I have negative x, positive x. Are those opposites? Yep. Yeah. If you want, you can put 1s, right? Negative 1, positive 1. And what's negative 1 plus positive 1? 0. Right? We're talking about literally, I don't know, second grade stuff. -1 plus 1 equals 0. Very straightforward. So if that's the case, let's move on and let's see what adds together. What is y plus y? What if we write it like this? 1y plus 1y, 2y. I mean, we're talking Dr. Seuss level mathematics. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Are you kidding me? What is 1 plus 11? 12. Like, that is so easy. Finish with divide. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Y equals 6. And again, we did the new part. We did the hard part. Let's write our answer. Is this 6, which is a y, is that the first piece or the second piece? It's the second piece. I'm going to take this y and plug it in. It doesn't matter if I go to the top or if I go to the bottom. I'll go to the top. I've got -1x plus 1y equals 1. And this 6, does it go into the first spot or the second spot? Of course, it goes into the second spot. You guys are doing so good at this, and I feel like you're a little bit bored for good reason, because it's not that hard. We type this in Desmos, and we're going to be finished. Desmos. Let's see what we got. Backspace, -1x plus 1 parentheses 6 equals 1. I'm going to look around. As far as I can see, I'm looking at 5. Perfect. 5. That is the answer. All right, you can see in this bottom part here, it says you try. I'm going to give you 1 minute. I'll give you a little minute head start. See how you can do. Maybe you don't finish the whole question, but see how you can do. If you already got an answer, raise your hand. Let me see. You know, I can check you off, see how you did. And this will be it. This is the last thing that we're doing together. Let's finish this last question, then we'll go, okay? How's it going so far, so Martin? Okay? Yeah, oh, you all right, man? You need to say that? You need to go somewhere? Yeah. Okay. You thought this is easy? You thought what you wanted to medium? I also medium. Oh, I don't want to be a medium. All right. Are we able to set up that little equation? Are we able to find that first number? I think. We already did one. We're doing that last one together. All right, that's our 1 minute. Okay, I see some good stuff from everybody. Now, from here, I'm noticing that my 4's are opposites. We got 4 minus 4, easy. 4 minus 4 is 0. So I'm not going to worry about these y's. I'm going to focus on my x's. What's 3 plus 4? 7. And what's 2 plus 12? 14. Everybody cool with how I got 7, how I got 14? Okay? I'm going to do divide. That's a piece of cake. Everybody knows 14 divided by 7 is 2. And that x is 2. Sorry. So that 2 is going in the first position. Now I need to go ahead and plug this. Oh, welcome, Alonso. It's good to see you. Alonso, I'll give you my notes for a second. We'll finish up the last question right now. Now, I'm going to go and do this last question. You guys tell me, how do you feel about this? What if I say, plug it back in, 3x plus 4 times 2 equals 2. What do you think about this?
It's not right.
I heard a couple people say it's not right. What's the matter with this right here? This 2 is the x number. It needs to go here. It cannot go here. So you guys are 100% correct. This is wrong. I need to put that 2 into this position. 3 times 2 plus 4y equals 2. And I don't have to do any math. right? Literally, for this question, 3 plus 4 makes 7. 2 plus 12 makes 14. And for this part, I'm not doing any math here either. I'm just going to Desmos, and I'm just typing it in. So I go to Desmos. I heard the right answer. 3 times 2 plus 4y equals 2. And I'm finding my answer right here, -1. Remember, it's always going to have a 0. We don't need that 0. We need the other number, which is -1. 2, -1. Look for the pieces that are going to cancel out. Do some simple addition. Once you get that one answer, move over to phase 2. When you do your classwork today, it needs to look like this. Okay? It needs to look like this. All right? That's the classwork. That is elimination. Not too bad.